Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's time to tackle the final stage of the race day event featuring BMW M4 GT3. Now that my daily motorsport dollar cap has been reset. So, yeah, here we go. Alright, so final stage as always. Maybe not always, as frequently it is the case. The 5 goals to complete here. And PR requirement, we're starting off with 78.5, at least at the beginning of the stage. And finish each lap within minute 33 and draft for at least 5,000 meters. Right, we got 2 laps to do it. So I get a feeling, ideally, drafting we want to accumulate while we're going full throttle, like on the outer rim section of the circuit, right? So we don't end up slowing down too much. Although, minute 33, I don't know, I feel like that's plenty of time. Certainly enough with the, upgrades that we got going here. So I'm going to try to pick up this 5,000 meters of drafting over 2 laps. I'm gonna try to rack up while I can, and hopefully I am still able to finish this lap under minute 33. Alright. About halfway there, slightly over. So yeah, on the outer rim, I definitely want to make sure that I can catch drafting behind one of the opponents. They're pulling away, so I wasn't quite able to do it, but through the chicane, I should be able to catch right back up. And I think, yeah, I need to get rolling here. Can't stay behind the slow folks right through the chicane. And I got another lap to rack up just like slightly under 500 meters of drafting, which should be quite doable. And then 28, 29, oh yeah, plenty of time. So now I'm looking back, maybe I could have racked up my all full 5,000 meters of drafting in the first lap, but nah, you know what, it's all good. Now that we got the 5,000 meter drafting goal met, we just have to wrap up this final lap, second lap, or lap 722 according to the lap counter here. That's a lot of laps, oh my goodness. We should be good to go. Alright. Since I didn't have to, stay behind a slower opponent in this second lap, lap time should be much quicker. There we go. So, but I don't feel like I need to necessarily try to finish all that quick, so we'll try to see. Don't want to slow down too much. We still have to finish under minute 33, I think is what it said, right? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I would have caught up to the P1 anyway, so this is about as good of a result as I can expect. Some 18,000 motorsport dollars to add to our piggy bank here. Alright, Ahmed pulling away. Good 3 seconds ahead of ahead of me and the pack. Alright. Takes out a decent amount of service bars, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna need to... I get a feeling I'll have to service the car before the end of this final stage. But for now, let's continue on to goal 2. Overtaking. Alright. So it's gonna be a single lapper, same PR requirement. And overtake 6 opponents, right? But don't get overtaken or damage your car or go off track. Alright, so... Oh, I thought it says 6 overtakes, but maybe it's 7. Is this a bug? I don't know. But look at them line up. Looks like they're all lined up for me to overtake. So let's go ahead, and I get a feeling it's the first chicane where we're gonna have to make our move. At least make the majority of the overtakes. Alright, and they did say, oh, a little bit of a crowd, be careful. Don't want to crash. Alright, so I got just a couple of overtakes in through the chicane. But we'll be going through that section again. So, not too concerned. Alright, and they're all lined up in front, and I am actually catching up. So, not, too much cause for panic here. And I just gotta make sure I don't damage the car in these tightly packed racing, pack here. The traffic. Just gotta be careful not to overzealous in overtaking and possibly go off track or damage the car. But the pack of the car was 7 cars packed up together, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, 6 car, 7 car, I don't think it would make that much of a difference in terms of how difficult it was gonna be. I think overtaking 7 car was about as difficult as overtaking 6 cars. Now we just have to make sure that we stay in the front. I guess I have to stay in the front since they told us not to be overtaken. But I don't think I'll be overtaking any more cars at the rate that we're going. We'll just keep it clean. Alright, but we'll let the guy behind catch up a little bit. Alright, within 10 meters. Pushing me a bit. Alright, so that is good enough. Yeah, they're still insisting 6 overtakes, which of course would have landed me on P9, but you know what, P8 is fine. You get tiny bit more payout, That's pretty dismal though, 4,400 Motorsport dollars. Ugh. That is, oh well. That's the thing with these events, right? Sometimes you have to just do your race. And yeah, apparently that lap puts my car in critical condition, so we'll get it serviced. And we'll continue after the service is done. But we got some conversation from Chip and Magnus. Alright. This conversation is quite spirited. Alright, so we'll continue with the next goal once the service is done. Alright, so after some 6 ads, the usual ad number to, get the service done quickly. Here we go, on to goal 3. Alright, so another overtaking challenge, 3 overtakes, and don't get overtaken, but this time we are a little bit further spread out, and we're expected to hit an average speed. Alright, the target is 230.1 kph or 143 miles per hour. Still same PR requirements, 78.5, so I expect that to go up to the event completion requirement in the next goal, which is 81.4, I believe. I know, we don't quite have the same exact PR as what's required, so I forget. But anyway, alright, so average speed department, we're doing okay. I mean, we're going through the slowest section of the circuit, and we just came under the average speed target, so we'll be building it back up through this speedway section, the outer rim, right? And yeah, this one we got another full lap after this, so overtaking 2 more, probably 1 more through the chicane here, because the bots do overcompensate. Maybe I can overtake. Yep, there we go. And could we overtake both of them? We can. All right, thank you very much. That's overtaking challenge complete. And just gotta make sure we keep that average speed above 230. And I think we got a pretty decent buffer. Yeah, like 240, almost 244. And then here we're hitting above 240 just a little bit, even in the interior section. Alright. And building that speed, or at least trying to build that speed back up. This is of course where we lose a lot of that speed. And can we keep it above through the exit? Yeah, not bad. Alright, I say mission accomplished at this point for this goal. Since, from here on out, we're just building the speed back up. So the chicane, this one is a pretty quick one, so we don't have to lose that much speed. Make sure, we just need to make sure that we don't go off track. I think that was one of the, was that one of the conditions? I don't remember, but you know what, doesn't matter at this point. We'll make it through. Alright, so pretty healthy average speed, right? Let the opponents catch up a little bit. Complete another goal with the minimal margin of victory. P5 finish. Alright, so that should pay out a little better, right? 13,000 motorsport dollars for 2 laps. It's not the worst, but yeah, oh well, it's alright. At least I won't be maxing out 250,000 motorsport dollar daily cap in just from this stage. We know. Alright, am I gonna need another service before the end of this event? Because yeah, that's 2 laps right there. Took that out. And then penultimate goal, skipping cost 100 gold. Alright, so some of you guys had trouble with this final 2 goals. Alright, let's see what this is all about. 81.4, yep, the PR requirements got the bump. And don't get overtaken, overheat, or damage, or go off track, right? Okay, so that's a lot of don'ts. Alright, so anytime they ask for, I guess, keeping the engine temperature in check, just means generally use tilt B. Avoid using tilt A control, because I don't know, do they even allow you to use tilt A in these kind of goals? Because the idea behind keeping engine temperature check, or like running with a certain set amount of fuel in the tank, generally it's kind of like variations on the theme, which is basically you have to coast a bit more, like through the how you approach these corners. You cannot go all the way deep into the corner, do full hard on hard brake, and then come right at the apex. Well, coming out on the apex is still, you gotta keep that going. But in terms of how you approach the corners. You have to let the car coast a bit more, you know, so that way allow more time for the engine to cool down on its own, because when you're basically not on the gas, or when you're on the gas is when your engine temperature is going to be steadily rising, right? And of course the challenge in this case is the fact that we got somebody on our tail, so we cannot just be coasting all the time. And this one we actually have 3 laps to do this, so I get a feeling towards the end, the 3rd lap, the engine temperature is gonna be getting pretty hot. But so far it's quite manageable, you know, and you know, like yeah, I would say we are about 1/3 way of the temperature chart if you're looking at that, and I am, you know, well into the lap 2, probably more than halfway through, maybe about halfway through the lap 2, which means more than halfway through the goal itself, right? Because we just need to wrap up this lap and one more. So considering that the temperature gauge is slightly below the halfway point, I say we're doing okay. So yeah, that's kind of how you have to manage. So I'm gonna just kind of coast into the chicane, and of course the bots, they do overcompensate when they go into those chicanes. So you know, you want to make sure you kind of get a little bit of a extra buffer heading in, because as long as you're not, you know, like they're not completely on your tail, you should be able to lose them pretty quickly and build up the buffer again upon the exit. Oh, there we go. So this is where probably things get a little messy. Boy, I didn't even see the Bentley come in the back. Where'd they come from? Alright, so this final lap, as I was anticipating, is probably the part where things are gonna get a little messy, I get a sense. Alright, and they told you not to damage your car, so I got rear-ended, but apparently not hard enough to, you know, get registered as damaging. Alright, so we cannot go off track, no damaging the car, so, and I cannot be overtaken, which means I cannot fall back to pit any of these guys from, you know, chasing me down from behind. So yeah, I see what's going on. There's a little less flexibility towards the end because they're right on your tail, more or less. But I am still going to coast into these chicanes, so yeah, upon exit, that's where you get the separation, at least as much as you can, and then I think we're okay. We're in amber for the temperature gauge, which is fine. We got, I think that's plenty buffer left, but we'll let the others kind of catch up a little bit and complete that goal. All right, so that was a fun one. 4 minutes 34 seconds. All right, and that one pays out proper 31,300 Motorsport dollars. All right, brings today's earning up to 67 and change. All right, so that's a fun goal. I like that. Anyway, best lap minute 29. So I didn't set the best lap, but yeah, we're gonna need to service the car once again. So we'll have to resume onto the final goal once the service is done, another 6 ads or so. But in the meantime, we got some more conversation pieces. Now Zoe added to the crowd here. Don't blow it. Magnus. Alright, so final goal will return after the service is done, so hang on just a second. And just like that, the service is done, and we are ready to tackle the final challenge of this event, which is fuel management. Yeah, and obviously you have to win. Alright, so we're given 11.5 units of fuel, and we gotta complete 3 laps. So yeah, once again, as I was saying from previous goal, with the whole thing about, you know, coasting and managing temperature, managing fuel, there was kind of variations on the same theme. So idea here is, of course, this one we are not in the lead position at the beginning, so we do have to overtake 2 cars. That's the first goal, obviously, without, you know, using too much fuel. So at the end, although this one, you know, after you overtake, if you do get overtaken into a corner or something, that's okay. They didn't say anything about, you know, not getting overtaken. And of course, if you can catch draft, it does help with the, obviously, because we're going faster while using the same amount of fuel, so that comes in handy. And then once again, that's not the ideal way of going through the chicane, but you know what, it's alright. We made an overtake, and now we're just chasing down, I believe Ahmed is the leader, right? So, and 3-lap race, so we got 2 more laps. Alright. Lap 764. Alright, and we're starting this lap with just under 7 units of fuel. And of course, once we take over the lead, we get to kind of dictate the pace of the race, so we don't have to be using up as much fuel. So don't have to be as conservative in this. Basically, in the first 2 laps, I would yeah. We gotta get to the lead first, and then we'll worry about the fuel once we get to that position, right? Makes sense. Oh, look at that, and we are encountering some traffic up ahead, which is definitely in our favor, because the bots do get very confused. They get very derpy when they see lapping traffic. They start to, once again, over brake, over compensate, right? And but before even we hit the traffic, there we go. We are in the lead, and Ahmed wants to peek out from the side. We'll try to keep him behind. Alright, so this one, they didn't mention anything about going off track or damaging your car, or, you know, the being overtaken is, you know, like any kind of problem here. So we'll just take it nice and easy. Alright, so as I was saying, about 3.5 units of fuel. And this lap, obviously, I'm taking it significantly easier than prior 2 laps, because I'm already in the lead. And through the interior sector of the circuit here, I think it's easier to block off Ahmed, you know, because of more corners, versus once we hit the outer rim, the speedway section, you know, it's a little bit harder, especially if you're concerned about your fuel. So basically my thought is I'll try to conserve the fuel and let our opponents get close while we're going through the interior sector, and then once I am out here on the outer rim, go flat out, or as much as a little bit of braking, and we lose them pretty easily through the chicane, don't we? So yeah, and obviously once you took over the lead, I got just enough fuel to complete this final challenge. I might have a little bit of spare, just a bit. All right. So yeah, that's a little tighter, isn't it? In terms of, how close the opponents were on my tail, as well as how much fuel I actually had left in the tank at the end of the race. So, all right, and that is worth another 31,300 motorsport dollars to go towards today's earning. So good deal. Best lap, minute 28. Yeah, so, earlier laps, obviously, I was driving a little bit harder. And then there is the upgrade path that I've chosen. As it turns out, there are 3 different upgrade schemes you can use. So as it turns out, I thought this was the cheapest gold path, but it's more like middle of the road gold path, as it turns out. So, well, that's all right. There's only like maybe 13 gold difference. So anyway, it's time to collect the grand prize, which includes the car itself, victory points, gold, and additional motorsport dollars, right? So there we go. The car that is worth 1,325,000 motorsport dollars if you're to buy it out. So Beamer M4 GT3. It's a fun event, I gotta say. The payout was enough to, get 250,000 motorsport daily cap maxed out, on the 4th stage. Yeah, so kind of spread it out. Otherwise, I guess the benefit would have been, to complete it while the 3-hour instant service offer is still available. But that's all right. We get 5 days to complete it, so you can. If you don't want to watch ads, you can get the car in service in the final stage. Come back next day, do what you gotta do, right? So pick up some victory points. Enough to get us to the next tier of victory point rewards. So that's very nice. That's additional resources, in-game currency, right? All right. And final thoughts from Chip, right? And the gang, right? All right. Expecting that back in California in 2 days? What's in California? Am I missing something? That was the final goal. That's the end. All right, so there you go. Thanks for tagging along for the ride. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care, guys.